This weekend on the original Rochester Press Box.
I'm Pat Duffy from the Breakroom on CMF, going to tell you why Teixeira and A-Rod have ruined the legacy of Derek Jeter.
And I'm John DiTullio. I have a message for Bills fans. Watch what you wish for.
And I'm Mike Catalana. A-Rod's clean, right?
I'm Bill Pucko. Is there any other issue other than the quarterbacks at Bills camp? Join us this weekend on the original Rochester Press Box. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the original Rochester Press Box. I'm Bill Pucko, joined by John DiTullio. Johnny, thank you.
Bill, number one, it's great to be here. Number two, you look fantastic.
Fox 1280 Sports Director, and you were so right. Mike Catalana, co-hosting here from 13 WHAM TV.
Thanks, good to be back.
And Duffy's back. Pat Duffy
Yes.
from WCMF. Thanks for rejoining us.
Thanks
You
for
just
having
keep
me.
sliding into this chair.
Can I just say, boys, we got great jacket patterns going on today.
Yes.
It's a quality jacket pattern day.
Right?
Huh?
Very
And I
nice.
bought this myself. This was not the missus. This was
Really?
Tools going solo. I went rogue on this coat.
All right, the formalities
Yes.
out of the way.
Yeah.
Get us started, Duff. We've got the Buffalo Bills in town, training camp, a lot at stake this year.
Again, we're at the same place. Who's going to play quarterback? Does it seem like every year we have no idea who's going to play quarterback? Is it the curse of St. John Fisher College? Because it seems like when we moved from Fredonia, all of a sudden, we didn't have a quarterback walking into training camp. And I thought about something the other day. After all the money the Bills have spent in the offseason, all the trades they made, all the moves, if a quarterback is what keeps them from the playoffs, is this the worst free agency period in the history of the NFL? They spend all this money. They have arguably the most talented roster in the NFL, yet a quarterback keeps them from doing it. And they do it the whole time.
I never heard anyone blame St. John Fisher for their ills.
I love them.
Well, because they have made the playoffs since they've been at Fisher. I'm with Pat on this, too, because you look at it and you say, they do have, I think, as good a roster or better than any they've had since maybe their last playoff team. But the quarterback part, we don't know who one is, we don't know who two is, we don't know who three is. Any one of those guys could end up being the starter. Any one of them could end up being cut. In a lot of cases, you say, wow, that's like an exciting time. No, they got three guys, and none of them seem to be a one. They want someone to earn it. My worry is that it's going to be by default, and one of them ends up as
Johnny,
quarterback.
can it be done? Can you win in the modern-day NFL without a quarterback? Is he going to find a
you
way?
can do it. I mean, you got to go back to 2006. Bears had a great defense, went to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman. Rex Grossman is awful. Teams have gone to the playoffs, have gone to the Super Bowl with average or below average quarterbacks. Yeah, certainly it can be done. With these three, I don't know. Castle stinks. E.J. Manuel was benched after 14 games, and Tyrod Taylor's thrown 35 passes. Their first camp back in 2000, you could say the Bills had two legitimate quarterbacks, Rob Johnson and Doug Flutie, right? You'll hang your hat on either one of those guys. And then when Bledsoe got here, not since Bledsoe have the Bills had a legitimate quarterback. Everybody else has been a stiff since 2004, Bledsoe's last year.
Yeah, and to his point, I mean, Rex Grossman's a better quarterback than anybody they have on this roster.
Whoa. Let's not say things we can't take back.
2006, he was.
Yeah, but we've only seen a regular season from E.J. Manuel. And by the way, in the beginning, he was doing pretty halfway decent.
Rex Grossman, if they got the play that the Bears got that year out of Rex Grossman,
Played very well that year.
they would be happy with that kind of quarterback play.
You look at me and tell me that E.J. Manuel or Tyrod Taylor can't have the season that Rex Grossman had that
Well,
year.
Sure they can, but they haven't shown
I don't
any
know.
of that.
Grossman,
Yeah.
remember, a great college career, first-round pick. Manuel was overvalued, and Tyrod Taylor
has never really played.
is a sixth-round choice. I think Mike's right. If they get a Grossman kind of year,
No.
I think the Bills could win the division.
Which
for
is
crying
why
out
I
loud.
believe if it's going to be by default, it's going to be Castle. Because I believe you could get that. I'm not a fan.
No, I know.
And
what
I
you're
know
saying.
he is, but I'm
Yeah.
saying is unless one of those other guys, if you were running the team, like if you don't know who to take, aren't you picking Castle as the quarterback? Because he's been a starter more in the NFL and he's a veteran.
Is there anything else to watch in camp?
No.
Anything else?
No.
Well,
don't
offensive
think so.
line we have to watch too because they keep trying to fix it. We know the defense is going to be good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how could it not be good with the talent they have on it? Offensive line is going to play into it,
Yeah.
but Toby Matika and I were joking about it. Every day, whether we want to or not, it's going to be about the quarterbacks.
Every day.
Every
Have
day.
to look forward to.
Be fun.
Come on, Taylor. Deflate-Gate rambles on when the original Rochester Press Box continues. For over 25 years, Hillside Works Scholarship Connection has empowered youth to embrace their dreams of college and careers. Thanks to a dedicated staff and employment partners, every year Hillside helps more than 4,000 young men and women move closer to their life goals. Welcome back to the original Rochester Press Box. This portion of the Press Box is brought to you by the Hillside family of agencies, and we thank them for getting on board, along with the Genesee Brew House, which will be, come fall, our title sponsor. So we're really pleased about that. Thank you guys for your contributions, because you all help make it possible, even you, Duffy.
Thanks.
Wow. Even you.
Hey, Johnny, let me, because you've been dealing with it for the better part of a year.
Stories.
Tom Brady.
Love it. It's a story.
Robert Kraft jumps in, kind of throws a little fuel on the fire. This is never going to go away.
Keeps giving. You've got the evil empire in the Patriots and the most despised commissioner in all professional sports, kind of button heads. I don't know what happens in the end. I have no idea. Does Brady's decision get overturned? I don't care. I'm so glad that it has gone this far, and that, more importantly, the commissioner looks awful in this whole situation, but Robert Kraft, when he bowed to the commissioner last May and then comes out this week and says he made a mistake, Robert Kraft doesn't make many mistakes. So we were talking earlier, was there a backdoor deal? Perhaps, but Kraft looks foolish. The commissioner looks awful. The NFL can't do anything right. They can't get out of their own way right now. Major League Baseball, who dropped the ball at every turn, now looks fantastic. The NFL right now looks awful. And listen, I keep hearing Brady's legacy is tarnished. Really? If this goes down that maybe he cheated a couple of games, it's on the resume, but he still goes down as the greatest quarterback, if not a top 5 quarterback.
And
I don't think it tarnishes
it doesn't change if he wins in court.
Well, that's what I look at. Brady seemed to be obsessed with keeping that off the record. Even you see reports where he was saying, he would admit to not cooperating, but not admit to anything. People are going to believe what they want to believe, no matter what the court says. The only difference is going to be, will he be suspended or not, and not playing the game? I guess you could say on his record he was suspended for playing in X number of games for this reason. People, like I said, people are going to believe what they want to believe. Handled poorly from the beginning by everybody, by Brady, by the Patriots, by Goodell, in every way, shape, and form. I know it's talking about the NFL. It does become tiresome, and I do think as we get farther into camp, other stories will start to take over, but then it'll ramp back up again as we get close to the season.
This is so awesome. This is awesome.
I love it. I love it.
First of all, I hate every Patriots fan on the planet, right? I'm a diehard Bills fan. This is what you get. There's your arrogant quarterback, the golden boy. He can't do anything wrong, and they love the fact that he walks around with that swagger, right? Where'd that swagger get you now, Tommy? 4-game suspension, right? You could have taken one, and here's the best part. No one would have remembered the suspension. There was a pretty big quarterback that was suspended under suspicion of rape. You remember who that was?
It's Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
right?
but nobody else does.
Yeah.
That's gone, and that was an accusation of rape. If he would have taken one game, we would have forgot about this forever. We would have watched the Sports Century on ESPN, and everyone would have been like, oh, yeah, I remember that. But no, Mr. Swaggy Tommy, everyone loves him for it. You just buried yourself, and he's going to serve those 4 games. And by taking it to federal court, he's going to serve those 4 games in the playoffs next year, which is even better for me.
Hey, right, he could get that injunction, and then whenever that decision comes down, Duffy's right, could happen mid, late, or in this case, could happen in the postseason.
Yeah, but how do you really feel?
I'm fascinated by Goodell, though, in this whole thing, because he has to saddle up next to Kraft, because Kraft's probably the most powerful owner in the league. Kraft backs him through the whole Ray Rice thing, but then this turns around and this happens. Then they hug it out wherever they were in the meetings. He believes that there's going to be this deal where he's going to get this thing by, and then Goodell hits him again. So that's
the story broke in January. We're in August now, and we're still talking about it.
It's pretty ridiculous. So look, week two, the Bills play the Patriots, presumably without Tom Brady. If you're a Bills fan, don't you want Brady playing in that game? You guys, don't you want to see him?
No, win is
Or
a
are you
win.
just admitting that you can't beat the guy?
Oh, you're going to be that guy? No, I want to win. I want to go to the playoffs. If it's going to be an easier win, I'll take the easier win. Thank you very much.
Especially early in the season. You know, at the end of the year when you wanted to hang your hat on the fact you say, well, did we beat Brady or not? And Brady only played half that game. That's more to say, were you 9-7 or 8-8? This would be week 2 victory. At the end of the year, it's how many, not how you did it. And it'd be a division win.
Yeah, how do the Dolphins feel about that 08 division championship because of Castle? Which you don't think they feel pretty good about winning the division back in 2008 when Brady missed a whole year? I'm with Duffy. A win is a win.
And by the way, to your point about to your point about what are you saying? You can't beat them? Well, I think history has proven they can't beat them, or they rarely beat them. So I'd take the win.
This portion of the original Rochester Press Box brought to you by the Hillside family of agencies. Like it or not. Hi everyone, I'm Bill Pucko. Classy Wolf Media is proud to be in its 5th year contributing quality local sports programming to the Rochester area on local network television. The Vision High School Sports Beat and the Rochester Press Box are making real contributions to the Rochester sports scene and offer unique and affordable sponsorship opportunities. To become part of this vibrant community, contact the Chuck Hinkle Agency at 690-8547 for more information. Welcome back to the original Rochester Press Box. Like it or not, Mike, since you guys broke the story this week, Abby Wambach deciding that she's going to play in the Olympics.
Yeah, I like it for Abby. And I think she's well aware of her position on this team, and she obviously has to be comfortable with it. I don't think Abby's going to be at risk of being not on the team. I think she knows she would have a role on the team. She's already won 2 Olympic gold, right? She won it she had the winning goal. I think for her, it's the way she wants to go out. It's only next year, so it's not that farther. I thought she was going to retire, going out with this World Cup. But to me, as long as she can be part of the team and accept her role, which is a bit of a lesser role, and she's comfortable with it, good for her. Get another gold medal, bring it back home. Then I believe she'll be done.
We always talk about, retiring at the right time and legacies and all the rest of this stuff. Is this possibly adversely affect her?
No, her legacy is completely intact. Listen, she won the World Cup with a diminished role, and yet she is still the face of women's soccer, despite Carly Lloyd scoring 78 goals. People love Abby Wambach. She can do no wrong at this point, even if she doesn't play a lick. Let's say she plays a minute a match. Doesn't matter. She still walks away a hero.
And she publicly especially embraced that was her role. Was such a team player. Plus, she had already been a dominant player in the World Cup previous to this, too. So she's already done that in the Olympics. And let's be honest, for her post-playing career, sponsorships and all those things, Abby's the face of the team.
But if she goes Willie Mays and starts falling all over the pitch,
not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen. Then you could second guess, unless she goes Willie Mays, which I don't think she will.
Like it or not, the LaShawn McCoy Women's Only Party.
I love it. I love it. I have a new goal in life, right? My new goal is to make enough money where I can put up on Instagram that I'm having a party and only women can come. And I get to see what you look like and then you get to come. And then I get to pick those people because that's what LaShawn McCoy did. And if you're a man who's going to look me in the face and tell me you wouldn't go to that party if you were invited, you are lying to my face. I don't like the assumptions about what this was. I love the sensational headlines of, it's in words I can't say on this show kind of party. Let the guy have his party. We would all do the same thing if we were in his position.
I would. 27, I have bank. Are you kidding me? And I'm single?
He's got that jacket?
If I had this jacket and I was 27 years old, I'd be Fonz.
And a moped.
It'd be Fonz in a moped. The fingers would be snapping left and right.
Do you find anything wrong with this?
I think from a certain perspective, he's entitled to do what he wants. He wasn't doing anything illegal. People were going there. It's a little creepy, right? I mean, there's a little bit of that part of it. But the other part is, and I laugh for the women.
Oh, he is Hugh Hefner.
But for the women who would sign up and get accepted to come to the party, who all believe they're going to end up spending time with LaShawn McCoy, in many cases, you end up with LaShawn McCoy's cousin who, that's the guys who were there.
Great guy, though. I met him. He's a nice guy.
I would look down more on the women, I think, than I do on LaShawn McCoy, if that makes sense.
To a certain extent, I agree with John in that way, just because, why would you sign up
devalue yourself?
Yes.
People don't like when guys rub it in your face. And LaShawn McCoy, for lack of it, was kind of rubbing it in everybody's face.
I
I got hot chicks coming to my party.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kind of like a billionaire.
Eyes Wide
Yeah.
Shut was a movie, but it was creepy.
Now,
That's what this is.
In the same way, though, I do know
Was.
there is, there's always the concern for very public figures like that about, what gets reported, videotaped, told to whatever. But yeah,
Okay.
little creepy.
Johnny, quickly, like it or not, Russell Brandon, president of both teams.
You love it. You got to
Sabres
love it.
and
The guy's got a brand, no pun intended. He's got a great track record. He was able to sell and market the Bills at their lowest and darkest times. This, to me, was a no-brainer. The Pagulas love him. He has a great deal of respect. Ted Black had fallen out of favor. This, to me, was a no-brainer. I think the moment that Pagulas bought the Bills and they wanted Brandon to join the Sabres some years ago, from what I was told, this, to me, was just, this was going to happen sooner or later.
Any chance that it's too much for one guy?
No,
No.
because I think his roles will work well together. They've been doing this already. The School of Sports and Entertainment, the whole One Buffalo idea. It makes sense to streamline this part. You also do have active owners here in the Pagulas. I mean, they are there, but they also need this level of management there. Russ is connected. His connections in the NFL will immensely help the NHL side. He knows what he's doing.
The bottom line is this. You have a team on the field in the NFL that hasn't made the playoffs in 15 years in an economically depressed part of the country, and they had, 5 non-sellout games combined in 15 years? You have to give them this job.
And broke their season ticket record.
And it's not unprecedented. I mean, it goes on as Seattle Supersonics and Portland Trailblazers with Allen's team, Scott O'Neill with the Sixers and the New Jersey Devils. There are other people that do both roles for teams as a president.
I only hope he plays hardball with the mayor and with Maggie Brooks, and the Sabres get control of that arena. That's my goal. SMG out the door, the Sabres take over the Blue Cross. That's what I'm hoping Russ gets that deal done.
Unfinished business when we return. Welcome back to the original Rochester Press Box. Time for Unfinished Business. Johnny.
I got a message to Bills fans. I've taken a lot of your calls. I've talked to you on the street. Quit popping off. We want Tom Brady to play week 2. We were talking earlier. Duffy made a great point. Take the win and run. Remember Steve Miller, take the money and run? Take the win and run. Yeah, you've had 26 times you've faced Tom Brady. You're 3-23. He has a quarterback rating of 101. By the way, 58 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. You can't beat Tom Brady, right? So don't be popping off. We want Brady. But mind you, you're going to get a second shot at him. Mind you, up in Foxborough, and that game may mean more than week number 2. The Bills need victories. They need divisional wins, especially at home, if they're going to snap this 15-year playoff drought. Quit popping off you want Brady. And the one win you got against Brady came at the end of last year when Jimmy Garoppolo took over in the second quarter. So take the win and run. Never mind trying to beat Tom Brady. Just get in the playoffs, and that means beating Jimmy Garoppolo or Matt Flynn or Steve Grogan. Take it.
Duff.
You know, it used to be your legacy is what you did during your career, right? Well, I've decided, I've made it, and we're going to change it because I think so, that we can now determine your true legacy by what happens the year after you're gone. Brett Favre would be a god in Green Bay if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers coming and having arguably the same, if not a better career right after him. The reason Jim Kelly is a god in Western New York, not because he took us to 4 Super Bowls, I mean, that helped, but since he's gone 20 years ago, nobody's taken his position. It's been 20 years. We still haven't found a Bills quarterback. That's why we love him. Which is why, if I'm Derek Jeter, I'm panicking a little bit.
Oh, stop.
Walking away last year. Last year he walks away, and what was the thing on Jeter? You know, the team wasn't great, but Jeter was a great captain, and he was a good guy, and he was a leader in the clubhouse. So this year they set the Yankees up well, we're going to lose. We're not buying at the trade deadline. This is the best Yankee season in how many seasons, Johnny? And we've done it without Derek Jeter. Could you argue that A-Rod might be a better leader in the clubhouse because they've rallied around him and his negativity? The year Jeter walks away, you don't make the playoffs. The year A-Rod takes over as your captain of the clubhouse, if you want to call it that, they have to buy at the trade deadline, even though they didn't want to. How badly does what the Yankees are doing this year hurt Derek Jeter and his legacy moving forward?
This is because Didi Gregorius has been so good.
Right? Well, Teixeira's having a career year. There's a lot of things that have gone the Yankees' way. There's no question about it. Health has been number one, and A-Rod has, I think, surpassed every expectation.
But legacies are tricky, though. You're right. It says you always hope that the team you leave behind
Jeter's
does
is
poorly.
intact. Jeter's is intact.
Well, what I'm going to talk about follows right up with that. You know, when the whole PED scandal, everything that happened in baseball happened, there was a lot of criticism of the media saying, where were you? You watched this all happen. You watched guys get to 35, 40 years old and hit more and more home runs, 60, 70, and we turned a blind eye. Writers, everybody was around the game, turned a blind eye. How come you didn't see it? And now here we are with Alex Rodriguez at 40 years old, with 25 home runs already, maybe on his way to 40 this year, revitalized, looking like he's 25 to 30 years old again. Now, I can only say, like a lot of people, I wonder if A-Rod is clean. He's lied before. He's cheated before. He's gotten caught doing it before. Are we all so blind to look at a guy who's 40 years old, hitting like he's a kid again, and not think that maybe there's the possibility that he isn't clean and happy again, and maybe just figuring out a way to hide it? I hope he's not. I hope for his sake he's just that naturally gifted, and at that age he can keep hitting. But he sure looks like a guy much younger than 40 years old.
Especially during this last week when he had such a monster week. And like every time I heard it, it's like, you know it's in the back of all of our heads. Everyone seems afraid to say it.
He's getting tested 3 times more than everybody else is getting tested. So he's got either a great doctor or a super nutritionist. Something's going on. But he's being tested 3 times more than the average player.
Or maybe he's really doing this, huh?
Perhaps. Maybe it is legit and organic.
That is our program. Thank you very much for joining us. John, as usual, appreciate it.
Billy, I thought today's show was outstanding.
Michael, good.
Thank you.
Duff?
Love you guys.
Love you. We'll see you again next week. Thanks for joining us in the original Rochester Press Box.